Hello guys, welcome to week 2. I want to believe you guys learned a lot during week 1. So during this week, we're going to be learning a lot of things. So for today, we are going to be learning the types of loops. We have the for loop, we have the while loop. Alright, but and then another thing we're going to be learning is the if and else statement. Alright, so um, before we move on to that, I want to just recap one thing that we ought to have discussed last week, and that has to do with string formatting. All right, so uh, what do I basically mean by string formatting? When I'm talking about string formatting, I'm basically trying to talk about something like uh, fill in the gap. So you have I am dash years old today. So now let's say you want to be able to fill in that gap. How do you fill it in? Now, of course, when you say I am uh, something years old today, now that something has to be an integer, right? So let's say 34, or maybe I'm 43 years, or maybe I'm 12 years old. Do you get it? So, how do you write that in Python? How do you allow Python to fill in that gap? Because the truth is, in your programs, as time goes by, you would want to be able to fill in those gaps. All right, so let's, for example, you say name. Let's start with strings, filling in strings. Name is equals to I am Ogunleye Ogunleye Taiwo, right? Now the question is, let's say I just want to have I am, and I want to be able to fill in Ogunleye Taiwo, right? So you can say name 2 is equals to I am percent %s. Now percent %s basically means I want you to fill in a string in this place. Now how do you then you pass in what you want to fill in as a tuple here inside a bracket. So I am Ogunleye Taiwo. So you have name 2 is I am Ogunleye Taiwo, which is the same thing as name. That's true, right? Now what if it's an integer that I want to put there, right? So let's say name 3 Ogunleye Taiwo is something years old, right? Now let's say that something is an integer. If it's an integer, then you put percent %high, right? Is something years old today, right? So then you pass in percent. Let's say the person is 23, so you just say percent %23. So what is name 3? Ogunleye Taiwo is 23 years old today. Python will basically insert what you have here in here, right? So um, what if you want to be able to insert more than just a single thing, right? It goes for both strings, integers, and floats. Oh, let me just talk about floats before I move on. So let's say it's not an integer you want to pass in. How do you pass in a float or a double? So how do you do that? So let's say name 4. I have to pay him percent F dollars this week, right? So you have percent 45.34, and they say what is name 4? I have to pay him $45.34 this week. That's how to pass in numbers with decimal points, that is floats or doubles. Now what if you want to have multiple things, right? Let's say name 5 is I have to pay him percent half dollars this third week. Let's say third week, right? So let's say percent high integer week, right? So you can have percent 45.34 comma 4. So what is name 5? So it basically says I have to pay him $45.34 this 4 week, or let's this 4 weeks, of course, weeks. All right, so basically what it does is it takes this, puts it in this first one here, and it takes this other one, puts it in the second one here. All right, so that's just going to be all about string formatting. You can just add in You can have more than that. You can have as many as you want to just be able to fill in. So you can have Taiwo is Ogunleye Taiwo is, or let me just do this, name 6. You're gonna say percent hairs is um percent I years old in um percent high, right? So we can just say Ogunleye Taiwo is, let's say, 23 years, right, in 2019, right? So what is name 6? So it says Ogunleye Taiwo is 23 years old in 2019. So that's basically how all these things work. All right, so now let's move on to ifs and then for loops. All right, so but before we move on to that, I just want to introduce you to another aspect of Python. We've been writing all our codes in our Python shell, but now I want us to move on to writing more efficiently with our Python editor. So what I want you to do right now is just to click on, right on your Python editor. You're going to see something at the top. You see file, edit, shell, debug, option, windows, app. Just click on file, then after that you click on new file, and then once you click on new file you should have this, right? Now at the top of the new file you should have something like file, edit, format, run, option, window, help. So it's either you click on the new file or you just click on Ctrl N directly. So you're going to have something like this. Alright, so now let's move on to if statements. Now, let's just say we want to write our if statements. So an if statement is a conditional statement such that once the condition is true, the program runs, and once the condition is false, the program will not run. Another instruction is executed. So let's say you have 2 instructions you want to execute, right? So once it is this, you execute A, and once it's not this, you execute B. So let's just try something out. So let's just do some things with my name. So let's just say my name is Ogunleye. I just love that name, Ogunleye Taiwo, right? That's the name. Now if my name equals Ogunleye, I'm going to teach you how to run this. Do you understand me? Ogunleye Taiwo, right? So what I want the program to do is I want you to print out welcome percent hairs to percent high, right? So I just want to print out something like welcome Ogunleye. Let me just say my name, since it's my name. So to, let's say, 2020, right? So that's what I wanted to do. Now if it's not so, I want you to run another block of statement and say print, right, welcome percent s welcome, or let me just say you are not welcome to percent I, right? So you have something like 2020. Alright, so okay, sorry, 2020, this should be outside. Alright, so you are not welcome to percent high. Alright, so now let's say we want to run this script. So one thing I need you to do right now is to do Ctrl S, and then once you click on Ctrl S, you have a pop-up window trying to specify, okay, where do you want to save this? Do you want to save it on desktop or whatever? So I'm just going to go ahead to save mine on my desktop, and then I'm just going to give it a name. Let's say test name.py. So I'm just going to call the file name from that pop-up window. I'm going to call it test name. Don't forget, if you look at that save as type, you already have it as Python file. So just put test name. It's going to save it as test name.py. So just go ahead and click on save. So once you go ahead and click on save, if you look at the top left, you're going to see test name.py, c : users blah 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 whatever. So now to run the script, I want you to go ahead and, where you have the file, edit, format, run, option, window, help, just click on run. So once you click on run module. So once you click on run module, you are going to have this pop up, right? So now you can see that our script ran. You can see that our script ran here. So it says welcome Ogunleye Taiwo to 2020. So I saved my own at my desktop as testname.py. So welcome Ogunleye Taiwo to 2020, and that's because Ogunleye Taiwo that we passed in is actually Ogunleye Taiwo. So what if, now let's go back to our editor. What if it is not Ogunleye Taiwo? What happens? Then our else statement should run. Let's just try and alter this and then make it a capital letter. That's so when you go ahead to rerun, when you go ahead to click on run module again, you're going to have this: you are not welcome to 2020. So that's just the fundamental of the if and the else statement. Alright, now what if you want to have multiple people? So in the sense that, okay, it's not just Ogunleye Taiwo that you want to welcome to 2020, you also want to welcome, let's say you want to welcome Selena. So how do you make Python to check if the person is Ogunleye Taiwo or Selena, right? So you can have another block of code here and say elif, right? If the name equals Selena, right? Print welcome. Let me just go ahead and copy this. Let me go ahead and copy this. So welcome, blah blah blah, whatever. So let's just assume name. So instead of just trying to put in, let me just run this program such that it's able to take in my name. So input, what is your name? So it's going to ask me what is my name. So that's how you take in inputs from the Python, and then it checks. So whatever you input, it assigns it to my name, right? So what is your name? It's going to ask me what is my name. So but let me just put it as a string, because inputs takes in both integers and floating point numbers. Alright, so my name is str input, what is your name? So when I go ahead to run this Python file right now, so it's going to ask me what is my name. Can you see it's asking me what is my name? So I'm going to say my name is Selena. So it says welcome Selena to 2020. Do you get it? Now let me just quickly talk about the inputs, whatever that I used over this. So I'm basically trying to say input is an input function in Python that takes in either a string or an integer, whatever you want to take in, right? Now, so if you want to take in something from an integer, this is the way you write it. From the user, you write it this way. Okay, let's say you want to take in my name. So input, what is your father's what's your father name? Okay, what's your father's name? Let me just put it this way. Then let me make it this way so that it's going to be able to see. It's not going to pull up an error, right? So what's your father's name? Let me put okay. So it says what is your father's name, right? Now it's asking me what's my father's name. My father's name is Ogunleye, right? So it just takes it in. So when I ask what is name is Ogunleye, right? So what if I want to take in an integer, right? So how do I do it? So let's say age is equals to input, what is your age, right? So you can say what is your age? I'm 45 years. So what is age? Age is 45. Now by default input saves everything you pass in as a string. Now what if you want to tell Python that 45 is not a string, 45 is an integer, right? So how do you tell Python? You're going to do age is equals to int input, so what is your age, right? So now what is happening right here is whatever input you pass in is going to convert that in as an integer and assign it to age. So once it asks me and I say I'm 34 years, so and I ask what is age, age is 34. Now this is an integer type, age is an integer. Do you get it? All right, so that is about if statement. About um, about elif statements. All right, so you can just go ahead to add as many elifs, as many conditions you want to have, like okay, my name, let's say my name is Bolowatife, right? You can keep adding as many whatever you get, so you can just keep adding as whatever you want to add in order to run this program. All right, so before I move on, let me just go ahead um, to have a for loop. Now here is how a for loop works. So let me just comment this guy out. Okay, let me just go ahead and comment. Let me just go ahead and delete all of this. All right, now let's work with a for loop. Now this is how a for loop is written. So you have let's say I want to have a loop that keeps asking for my name keep asking for my name for 10 times, and then after 10 times I want it to end the program. So you say let's just initialize. Let me just write a program first. So for I, let me just say I want to run this program for 10 times, right? So I have an integer called I is 10. So I want to say for I in range for I in range, okay, let me just say for j in range I, right? I want you to print I. This is just the way a typical for loop works, right? You can as well just decide not to specify this and you just pass in the 10 straight up, right? But at times you might just want to, if you don't know how many times you want to loop, maybe it's depending on an input, so you might just want to save that input as a variable, so you can just keep modifying it. So when you click on run, module, it's gonna say oh, I think we made a mistake. I is not defined. All right, so I called j, but I'm calling high. I already deleted high, so let me just change it to j. All right, so once you run this run module, then it's going to print 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. All right, so now let's go back to our editor. All right, so what exactly is a for loop? A for loop is actually a loop that keeps running for a certain number of time. It keeps running for a certain number of time. Once the time is reached, the loop stops running. Do you get it? So that is what a for loop is. Now let's just take in a for loop. Let's just have a for loop that keeps asking for my name for 10 times, and then it keeps printing out my name for 10 times, and then after 10 times it stops, right? So we can just say for j 10 times, of course 10, I want you to ask for my name. So in my name, what is your name, right? So you can just say or let me just say okay, name is equals to input my name. So it's going to ask me for my name, and whatever I pass in. Let me just put something here. So whatever I pass in here, it assigns it to name here, and then I want it to print out welcome home %s, right? So I can have percent name, right? So you can go ahead and save. Right, so you have my name. What is your name? It asks for my name first. So my name, it passes it in here. So whatever I say is going to put it to name, and then it's going to print it. It's going to keep printing. So once I run this, So let's go to our editor. So it's asking me what is my name, right? So I'm going to say my name is Felix. Felix. Oh, welcome home, Felix. Oh, it's asking me again, what's my name? My name is um give me a name, give me a name. Go. Welcome home, go. My name is Ellie. Welcome home, Ellie. My name is, just keep typing in something, okay? Welcome home. Whatever you type in is just going to keep asking until the 10 is reached. And now, because we have 10 inputs, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and that's when it stops. But if I want to keep asking, right, if the name is actually what I want it to be, it should do something more extraordinary, right? So let's say it should just keep asking for my name and then keep printing the name. So let's say if the name equals Ogunleye, or let me just say if the name is Taiwo, let me not stress myself. If the name is Taiwo, I want you to print out Taiwo. Else, just say print you are not the owner of this operation, right? So let's say I only want Ogunleye Taiwo to have access to my home, right? So let me not say instead of operation, let me say you're not the owner of this house, right? So once I run, it keeps asking me what is my name, right? What is my name? What is my name? So I say my name is Tai. Let me say my name is Tao. It say you're not the owner of this house. My name is T. I'm not the owner of the house. My name is We. I'm not the owner of the house. My name is Taiwo. Welcome home, Taiwo. Right? My name is Taiwo. You're not the owner of the house, because this is a capital T. This is a small letter T. So it's still not the same thing. Okay. What if my name is this? Keeps asking until. So what if I say Taiwo again? It says welcome home, Taiwo. Do you get it? Now the thing is, what if the moment I take in Taiwo, I want this loop to stop, right? How do I do this? So now, in order to do that, you're just gonna have something like, for this blah blah blah, if this is this, print welcome home, the person that you want, and then break. So now this break statement basically means once this condition is true, just print it out and then stop running this loop. We have other things like the pass. Pass means just ignore, keep running the loop, ignore whatever you have after this if statement, just ignore and then just continue. Then you have continue, which means just keep running the loop irrespective of whether this thing is true, or just keep running the loop until the loop ends on its own. So but in this case, let's use the break. Alright, so when we run this, we run the program. It says what is your name, then I say my name is Felix. It's still gonna ask me what's my name. So I say, oh, my name is Felix. Maybe I didn't pronounce it very well. It's still telling me no. Oh, my name is Taiwo. Oh, it say you are not Taiwo. Oh, now let me just put my name is Taiwo. It says welcome home, Taiwo, and then the iteration stopped. So after 4 iteration, it stopped. Do you get it? Alright, so that will be all for today regarding loop. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about the while loop. Do enjoy your day. Bye.